Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and my mixing chips series continues after a small break. This time vocals, especially in a modern metal production. So this is a little bit also about production, mixing. This is just the way I usually do it and how I did it on this song. So yeah, as you can see from the session, there's quite a bit of vocals. There's my vocal effects, then there's verse bass, rap bass, vocal 3 bass, which is a pre-chorus, which was processed differently, chorus vocal bass, backing vocal bass. And the reason they go to these different basses is that, like I said, I'm processing them a little bit differently, and then because on this song there's kind of a little bit like crisscrossing, so where one vocal ends, then the other kind of starts. So I wanted them to be separated because I'm compressing them individually, but I'm also compressing like all of these kind of as a stack as a group in the bass. Let's listen to the song briefly, and then let's go through the basses, all the different, vocal stacks. Because many times are usually in, especially modern productions, metal production, it's the production, makes a big difference. So all right. So let's start. So this is Cyhra's, our latest single, Skin from Bones, which is available on all streaming platforms. And by the time you watch this, the lyric video might also be out. If not, then it will be released soon. All right.
Surrender, I want it all. So listen up and feel the pain. You found someone to blame. If there's a fracture, then I'll stay near. If there's an antidote, I'll drown it in my fear. Oh, what a mirrors, I curse the veil.
Okay, as you can see, there's quite a bit of automation. So I'm using the Howard Benson, the vocal suite, as my main delay and reverb and kind of like a limiter, even though it's in the middle of the stuff, but I like what the limiting does to the sound. So the EQ, the multiplier is off, the width is off, echo, space, limiter, and the compressor. So it's opto mode, kind of like LA2A compressor on this bus. And these are ducking delay and ducking reverb. Here's the amount of ducking, and I have automated the ducking. So the verses, they duck a little bit more on certain parts, and some parts it ducks a little bit less. So what ducking means is that in this case, when Jake is singing, it ducks the delay down, and when he stops singing, the delay kind of goes up. So in between the phrases, the delay kind of pops out a bit more. Listen.
We're at a standoff, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all.
There's this delay, but since this is so busy mix, I didn't want the delay to be on all that. I use this ducking like always, basically. And the plugin is great because you have that inside. Before I had this, I had my delays on like aux sends. Then I had a compressor before them, sidechain to vocal. So the compressor was ducking the signal to the delay. This is just way easier way to set up. And then there's vocal writing. How I use the vocal writer, this one, is that I'm like pressing record. Then it kind of writes here, kind of like doing fader thing like this. Sometimes it thinks the wrong way that I like to think. Like, let's say if there is a quieter vocal part, that's there for purpose, and then the vocal rider might rise that up. So I do the automation, then I go through the vocal writing and do the corrections manually. But this saves a lot of time, and it's, well, maybe not time, but it does a really good job at automating vocals. Because you see, there's little stuff going on all the time, you know, kinda, and then like, you know, I guess here it's or somewhere in the beginning, maybe because it's a bit quieter, or this one, yeah, this ending, that it's purposely quieter because there's another vocal coming, so it kind of raised this up. So then I did this part, you know, like, okay, off. So vocal rider, that is great. And on the individual channels, how I usually do, I have soothe, the first thing, just the factory default setting. So I feel that it takes away some artifacts or whatever harshness, change the S's a little bit. Just, you know, first thing. So let's bypass these all and let listen. And then there's the SSL channel strip and 1176 compressor.
We're at a standoff, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up and feel the pain. You found someone to blame.
Soothe smooths the vocals just a tiny bit nicely before anything else. And then what we have there is SSL's vocal strip. I'm not using the compressor on this one now. I'm using the de-esser, taming down the S's, a deep loser, taming down the this kind of stuff, and a little bit EQ. This differs for different vocalists. Usually there's one frequency in every vocal, which is a little bit like that. So I'm taking that out, low cut, and boosting some, in this case, 10K.
We're at a standoff, so hear my call. I won't surrender, You found someone to blame. If there's a fracture, then I'll stay near. If there's an antidote, I'll drown it.
Great, you heard those S's, it took kind of away a little bit. And then the 1176.
We're at a standoff, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up and feel the pain. You found someone to blame. If there's a fracture, then I'll stay near. If there's an antidote, I'll drown it in my fear.
It also adds some kind of like, you know, little bit of like saturation and distortion, like the character. This is like fast attack, fast release. I'm not always doing, and we was peaking, I'm not always doing this much, but this song just called for this really compressed vocal sound that it's always in front, because there's so much stuff going on. There's so many guitar, keyboard tracks, drums are pounding, bass, whatever. Great, so that's the individual channel vocal, and then they go to these buses. SSL, I'm using this as the general bus EQ. So I do this in a context that, okay, and what I've done here, I've added a little bit 8K, I took down a little bit 300, and that's it with the EQ. Then the Howard Benson I showed you. Then Soothe. This takes care of the S. This is like a DS, so like it's just DS, and that's that. So it just takes those a little bit more, because I have the Soothe here first, and then the SSL vocal strip de-esser, but then there is EQ, there's more compression, you know, then I'm taking down the S's a tiny bit more after all of this. And there's Pro Q, again some, you know, maybe some problematic areas, let's see.
We're at a standoff, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up.
It's a little bit like this, but with the EQ it's kind of deeper.
And feel the pain. You found someone to blame. If there's a fracture, then I'll stay near. If there's an antidote, I'll drown it in my feet.
That sits better. And then the last thing is oxygen, where I'm adding a tiny bit air.
We're at a standoff, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up.
This is very minor, but it just kind of adds that airy, you know, makes it sound more expensive. So that's a thing, and the plugins are the same pretty much on every single bus, as you can see, but I've just done a little bit different things. Maybe there's some more EQ on some, maybe different, you know, Pro Q, EQ, maybe more oxygen, but general idea, I'm not gonna go through this all because there's a lot of stuff, but you get the idea. So how I do it is first soothe to, you know, just smoothen it out, then de-essing, deplosing, a little bit EQing. Sometimes I use this compressor instead of the 1176, it's a great. Then 1176, and sometimes I use the blue one. This particular model seems to work for this song, this vocal performance the best. And then they go to the buses. And then other things, doubles. So there's pretty much with Cyhra, there's always two doubles. There's the main, and then Jake has doubled the vocals. And I've used the, let me show you what I've used. This Vocaline Pro, usually with the slight loose timing. So this audio suite is great. So basically I capture the guide, which is the main lead, then I capture the dubs here, and then it aligns them a little bit better than what was the performance, but not perfectly, because the whole idea is like doubling guitars. You don't want it to be exactly the same, but so this is great plugin. Vocal Align Pro. Cool, but I've already done that, so yes. And it, with the audio suite, it bakes into the track. So the doubles, they sound like this. They are, in this case, panned hard left and hard right.
We're at a stand-up, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up and feel the pain. You found someone to blame. If there's a fracture, then I'll stay near.
And then the doubles I'm sending to slapback delay, which is Euge's Galaxy, just to a little bit of movement. So listen, let's listen to doubles, and I bypass the send to the slapback.
We're at a stand-up, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up and feel the pain.
It brings kind of like movement, brings them alive. And then this I use a lot, many vocalists. So Altar Boy, I'm basically copying this main lead vocal track to here. This is very quiet, as you can see. And I have there sound choice, little Altar Boy. So left side is formant -1, right side is formant +1. Mix with, you know, a little bit drive, but the pitch is the same. Sometimes I mess with the pitch too, and these sound like this.
We're at a stand-up, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen.
So they're very quiet. They're like, you know, 15% left, right, but it adds this certain thickness and character to the vocals. Let me show you when I play this vocal solo, and then I add the Altar Boy.
We're at a stand-up, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up and feel the pain. You found someone to blame. If there's a fracture,
Just add some kind of thing. You don't really even notice it, but it just does something to which I like. And then obviously when we add the doubles, then we have a big wide sounding vocal which is still centered.
we're at a stand-up, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. So listen up and feel the pain. You found someone to blame. If there's a fracture, then I'll stay near.
And then I'm also sending this to parallel vocals. And my parallel vocal is soft tubes tube check. So there's a pull check EQ, I'm boosting lows and highs, kind of smiley face. And then I'm using the CL1B, kind of smooth optical compressor. But it's basically, I think it's all the way up. Let's see.
We're at a stand-up, so hear my call. I won't surrender, I want it all. someone to blame.
I know that many people use like 1176 is kind of aggressive parallel compression, but I do the opposite. I compress usually the actual vocals really aggressively. And then I have this parallel vocal, which is kind of like a foundation, like a bed, like, you know, concrete, what you build, you know, when you start to build a house. So it's just there all the time, keeping it, like you saw, it was doing minus 20 dB of compression, but it just, and it brings this sort of kind of body in chest to the vocals. The difference was small when I took it out, but it felt, at least to me here, it felt like the foundation is missing. So that is that. And then I have alternative delays and some mono delays, which I'm sending a little bit. Yeah, the mono delay, that's fairly quiet, but it's this Echo Boy Junior, kind of this ambient setting. So it's not mono delay because it's stereo aux, but it's not like doing any ping-pongy stuff. So it's just the same on both sides. And it's always there kind of creating a little bit more ambient. So that's not ducking. It's always there very quietly creating a sense of space, but not too much space. And these echo and this space, this is my main vocal delay and reverbs. And here's, you know, the amount, size, and this is basically a mix knob. So, and that's really it. The throw delay, as you can see here, there's some delay throws. Let's listen.
And feel the pain.
Little bit, you know, quite mildly. That's Echo Boy's EV Vox throw. So I've done this here a few times. Okay, vocal 3 bus. So here what I've added like this telo-fi thing. You know, well, let's listen. What is the telo-fi thing?
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my...
It's actually here.
Open. So in for the heart, but do you really feel the same? So in for the heart, but do you really feel...
So it has this lo-fi thing.
So in for the heart, but do you really feel the same?
And on this one, I'm using the vocal strips compressor. Cool. And other than that, I think this processing is again pretty similar, but small differences. We can close this one and this one since we went through. And here is a lot of doubles and harmonies. Let's actually listen to this pre-chorus bus.
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. Lie, I can pretend to heal. I peel my skin from bones.
This is like Jake is fantastic. He's basically creating chords with these.
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie, I can pretend. To heal, I peel my skin from bones.
And these are panned like, some of them are hard left, hard right, some are not, some almost, you know, like 40. So kind of the idea is to create big vocal stack, so the main vocal is always here, but then there is this kind of thing which makes the main vocal sound like really big, but it's not supposed to be that, you know, you will hear that, oh, there's so many vocals, because if we listen this part in the context,
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just
it's still like its main vocals, but listen if I take all of these harmonies and doubles out, how lonely the lead vocals sound.
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my...
Then when I start to add them,
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie, I can't pretend. To heal, I peel my skin from bones. bones.
And all of a sudden, wow. All right, that's that. Chorus vocals. There's no, well, there's a little bit of reverb automation and just the fader automation. And these sounds like this.
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie I can't pretend. To heal, I peel my skin from bone.
Cool. So that's pretty much the same thing than on the verses. And these that go crisscross. You know, they are on different tracks because it's like this.
I peel my skin from bone. You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head.
And then backing vocals.
You are not a monster in my bed. You are not a voice inside my head.
Fantastic. Jake is so great.
You are not a monster in my bed. You are not a voice inside my head. You are just a lie.
If I solo these lows.
You are not a monster in my bed. You are not a voice inside my head. You are just a lie I can't pretend. To heal, I peel my skin from.
Cool. And then let's listen the main vocals soloed, and then I add the backing vocal stack.
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie I can't pretend. To heal, I peel my skin from bones.
Fantastic, and in the context.
From bones. You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie I can't pretend. To heal, I peel my skin from bones.
These usually like backing vocal bass, this wide stack, I usually have them hard pan, hard left, hard right. Because, you know, you want them to be part of the main vocal, because the main vocal is centered. Doubles, maybe they are, let's see where the doubles are on the, oh, they are hard left and hard right too. The altar boys are like 50%. But, you know, I don't want to have the backing vocals to mess with the lead vocals. So they are on the sides, and together they create this big one wall of vocal sound.
You are not a monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie I can't pretend. To heal, I...
Processing wise, this is the same Soothe, the vocal strip 1176. Backing vocals, the sopranos, I've added some Soothe and some checking out some, because they were really a little bit piercing, because these are really high. Let me show you.
You are not the monster in my bed. You are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie I can't pretend. To heal, I peel my skin from.
So I'm just taming the top in a little bit, because it was a little bit too much. And then on the other stuff, it's just the vocal strip. Vocal strips, compressor, de-esser, de-closer, EQ, and on the bass it's the same. Howard Benson. Here I've used EQ after. Well, I haven't used any EQ. Okay, and then let's see what I've done with the Pro Q. Just taking down some. Maybe there was some problematic stuff, and then Soothe just to smoothen out the whole thing. And the rap bass, pretty similar, you know, stuff. There's the lo-fi thing, and on this one I used a little bit of auto-tune. Let's see what it does.
I'm feeling seasick, yeah, the room is spitting and making me dizzy like venom in my veins. It got me both anxious and twitchy. It's time to open up your mind.
It's hardly doing anything. Like, we're talking like cents here and there, but I just felt like Jake's rapping sounded better when this was on, even though it's not really, it does something, I don't know. And then I have the vocal strip, and here I'm using this compressor instead of the 1176, and this is quite a bit drier, this whole package.
I'm feeling seasick, yeah, the room is spinning and making me dizzy like venom in my veins. It got me both anxious and twitchy. It's time to open up your mind and let its truth pour raw. No more weight on my shoulders, no more weight on my heart. I need a minimal clearance, breaking up with my past, cause every thought is a fight and you won't stand no chance. High stakes, low blows, I feel you cut me open. So hard.
Yeah, same approach. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you found this interesting and informative, and got some ideas, tips and tricks to your own productions, especially productions, because this is lot of this, like in anything, has to do on the production. If it's well recorded, well performed, in this case synced, well produced, then it's a lot easier to mix that, and then it's the part of the, the sum is part of all of these things. And this mix, other songs I might have done something differently, but again, kind of my basic principle is that I like in this case there's rap vocals, then there was these little bit distorted vocals, chorus vocals, backing vocals, verse vocals. They all go to their own buses where I can kind of treat them the way they needed to be treated, and then they all lead to this, everything minus vocals to this bus and all vocals to this bus, and I'm sending a signal from this all vocal bus to this multiband compressor. As you can see, the sidechain input is this one here. So whenever Jake is singing, the multiband compressor is chucking down this upper mid frequency on all music, because Jake's kind of where his core voice, which really, pushes through, is on this area. So let me show you on chorus, for example, what this does, and then when I take it off, the vocals suddenly they kind of start to fight for the space.
Monster in my bed, you are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie, I can't pretend to heal, I feel my skin from
It's quite subtle, because it's very fast, the compressor, and its maximum it's doing like
Monster in my bed, you are not the voice inside my head. You are just a lie, I can't pretend.
just brings them a little bit more forward. Just tiny thing what I was missing, and I think I did this the last thing, like so you gotta be creative when you're mixing stuff to get the sound coming out from the speakers, how you hear it in your head. So it was like 3 dB, really fast, and only this frequency between 2K and I think it's like 8K. But you don't really hear that, oh, now the higher mix goes down on guitars or cymbals, because it's so fast, and there's so much other stuff. And because basically this was the prominent frequency on Jake's vocals, what cuts through, so this frequency is still there in a way. It's just coming from vocals. But yeah, that's mixing modern clean vocals. I will do a part 2 where I will focus like a growl vocals. How do I process them and what do I do? So hopefully you found this interesting and informative, and got some tips and tricks and ideas. And remember, there's no like wrong or right way. Like it's just like if it sounds good, it sounds good. And this was the thing I did on this mix. On some other mixes I've done probably a little bit different things. Until next time, take care, bye.